Hello, welcome to the tutorial on Descriptive Statistics of the Dataset, Part 1. By the end of this tutorial, you will be able to calculate basic descriptive statistics for the variables in the dataset. Using Python, we can fetch the descriptive statistics for our dataset. By descriptive statistics, we mean the count of values for the variables, their mean values, standard deviations, minimum values, maximum values, and the 3 percentiles, namely first, second, and third. The descriptive statistics are calculated for numerical variables only. The reason we want to look at descriptive statistics for variables is to help us build a better understanding of the data at hand. Looking at statistics, we can understand how many values are missing in the data set for a given variable, and we understand that we have to treat them before performing any analysis on it. Looking at minimum and maximum value can help us identify the range within which values of a given variable would lie. It also helps us identify any anomalies or outliers in the data. For example, if the minimum value for number of bedrooms came out to be -2, then we know that there must have been some error in the data capturing, as number of bedrooms cannot be negative. And say if the maximum value for area variable comes out to be 50,000 square feet, while normal houses are 1500 to 2000 square feet in range, then we know we may have outliers in our dataset, which again need to be treated before performing any analysis on the data. The mean represents average value for a numeric variable, while the 3 quartile represent the spread of the data. If the distance between minimum value and first quartile and second quartile, second and third quartile and maximum values are similar, then we know that the data is uniformly spread over the range. Another way to measure spread of the data is standard deviation, which actually tells us the spread from the mean or average value or expected value for that variable. If the standard deviation is low, it means that most of the numbers are close to the average value, and a high standard deviation indicates that the numbers are spread out. Now, let's view the descriptive statistics for the data. The code for displaying the descriptive statistics is very simple. We write down the dataset name, which is raw_housing_data, then dot, followed by describe and the brackets. If you recall, this is the same code structure as we had discussed earlier, which is in name of dataset dot function name followed by input arguments within brackets format. Here, describe is the function and it does not take any input arguments, which is why we do not write anything within parentheses. Once the code is executed, you will get the descriptive statistics for each of the numerical variables in the dataset, except the index number, which is only for referencing purpose. Some of them might be useful for you, while some aren't, like the descriptive statistics for variable ID is of no use to you, as we don't really want to find out its average or minimum or maximum values, as this variable is only for numbering purposes. We see that the minimum value and maximum value for number of bedrooms in the dataset is 0 and 33, which may be surprising for you, as how can a house have 0 bedrooms? But if you look at the minimum flat area, which is 290 square feet, it might make sense, because maybe it is a really small house which has kitchen, living room and bedroom combined and does not have a dedicated bedroom as such. Similarly, 33 bedrooms in a house seem really high unless it is a large house, and if you look at the maximum value for flat area, it is 13,540 square feet as compared to the average flat area, which is approximately 2,080 square feet. Hence, it looks like we have got a large house in the dataset, and it may have 33 bedrooms in it. Here we have assumed that maximum or minimum flat areas belong to the same rows which have 33 or 0 bedrooms. But it may not be the case. Hence, if we really want to be sure, we should go and check the flat areas for the rows which have 0 and 33 bedrooms and satisfy ourselves that they really have a small or large area too. For now, we are assuming that this is the case. Similarly, we see houses are as new as 3 years or as old as 118 years, which also makes sense. This code considers only the numerical variables and leaves out the string or category variables. What if we wish to include them in the code? For that, we have to make a minor adjustment. So let's go ahead and write the code. Raw housing data dot describe include equal to all. Press Ctrl plus Enter and the code will be executed. We have the descriptive statistics of the string variables also now. It will only contain count of values for these variables and the number of unique values that each string variable has. Apart from that, no other information will be available for string or character variables and won't make much sense, as the concept of mean, min, max values makes sense only for numerical variables and not for string variables. Similarly, for numeric variables, number of unique values won't make any sense and will be nan or not available. Unique values for a string variable mean different values that variable can take. Don't worry if it is not very clear to you right now. We will discuss an example of it shortly. Let's explore another code where we get to view the details about our variables. For that, we write the code as raw housing data dot info brackets. Press Ctrl plus Enter and the code is executed. The output displays the total number of records or rows in the dataset as well as the number of variables, that is, number of columns in the entire dataset. It also gives us information about the number of values for each variable which are not null or are incomplete. This helps us in getting an idea about the number of missing values we have in the dataset. For example, the total number of rows in each column is 21,613. But for the variable flat area in square feet, we find that the count of values is 21,604. So there is a deficit of 9, which means in 9 rows, the values of this variable are not available. So that's it in this tutorial. We will continue our discussion on descriptive statistics of the dataset in the next one.